I'll tell you that based on my recent experience in South Korea. It's amazing, super technological, most advanced. I love that people is so respectful, but I'm Latin, I'm Spanish, and I need some human connection. And I couldn't find that there. So I would recommend, if somebody is willing to go or to relocate to one place and they're a little bit scared, find out first their community there. And it's so easy. And you don't have to use Satlantis for that. You can use Facebook groups, you can use WhatsApp groups. There are many tools to find your community. You can use Meetups, Eventbrite. There are many tools. Of course, we are trying to put everything together, but if you find first that what you will find there will fulfill you, again, in my example, I just need an artistic gymnastic gym, I need my Bitcoin community, and I need my quality of life, for example, being able to go to the beach. If I know in advance that the place I'm going to offers me this, the relocation will be easier. Don't go to the place because people says, this is hot now, this is popular now.
Know yourself. It's what you're saying, actually. It's not so simple, by the way.
Not easy at all.
Age. Know yourself and what are your priority. And by the way, in different age and stage of life, they might change. Let's to be practical. Please explain in simple terms the benefit of the decentralized social media platform for future expats or entrepreneurs, saying like midlife entrepreneurs. So what is different, even on the layer of interaction between members of community? What else your platform provides?
All right. So imagine that now we understand that everything that we post, we can verify it's ours. Why does this matter to me as a frequent traveler? I want to meet like-minded people. Today, with deep fakes and fake news, it's so difficult to find real content from real people. So when I travel to a new destination, I need to make sure that, again, think about what we said about before. When you are traveling, you are going from one place to another. It takes a lot of effort. So you don't want to make mistakes when you are relocating from one place to another. So the use of this technology allows you to verify before you arrive to a place that everything that's going on there, it's real. It's not fake by an algorithm. It's not fake by a company that wants to induce you into a certain way of thinking or into an agenda.
So when you think about intentional community of different types, being it grassroots in jungle of Costa Rica or other place, do you find them as a way of escaping the current world noise or desire for adventure? Or are they more about building something new, type of community and relationship, maybe hoping for the better future?
So I've been talking as well to this group of people. They're called the preppers. Maybe you heard about them.
Preppers, yes. For me, it's different groups. Okay, it's a preppers which kind of reach to different countries.
So the preppers, from my definition, maybe it's a different definition of the one that you heard. It's like these people that want to have everything under their control. In case something happens, they can take over. We have no electricity, no worries. I have generators or I have batteries. Oh, because I have no electricity, now the supermarkets are not offering me food. Don't worry, I have shelter and I have enough food for my family for a couple of weeks. Or I have a patio in my backyard where I grow my own veggies, or maybe I have chickens and they give me like protein and eggs. All right. So for, like you said, like the intentional communities. So the people that I have been meeting during the last couple of years are these type of people. These people that are not, they don't want to trust in the system. They don't want to rely on the system. The system is very good. The system, we build the system. We build gas stations. We build grocery stores. We build that to help us. But sometimes we rely too much in that. And because sometimes the system is, as I was saying at the beginning of the conversation, not well run, because the people in power are corrupt and they are doing things that they shouldn't be doing, these type of people are starting to go to these communities. So it's better that we have a plan B. And this is the type of people that are looking, when I say intentional communities, like they want to build, in the end, they want to build their own.
Yeah, intention might be different, but they look for the like-minded people and they already operate. I don't know how, what's up, like how these people communicate.
Every community is different. I've been with communities that they rely on third parties. When you and I send a message on WhatsApp or on LinkedIn, for example, how do you know that this conversation is not being watched? You certainly know because it's closed source. And I was an entrepreneur as well. I built some communication technologies a couple of years ago, and I was reading all the messages. And the excuse I would tell you why I was reading them is to learn from my users to build a better product, which is fine. It's legit. It's fine. The problem is that when this information gets leaked, either for an employee, an unhappy employee, a bribed employee, a government asks you for all this information. The problem is when you have a big platform, call it messaging platform, you will have hackers or governments willing to read what's going on in there. So other communities I met, they do not like to use these closed source tools. So they use like open source tools that are encrypted by themselves and they verify it. Every community is different. And I'm not saying that you should go to full sovereignty, because if you go to full sovereignty, you don't have time for breathe, because it's at some point you need to trust someone. So what we're trying to do with Satlantis is helping people to find like-minded people, so then they can choose.
So you have different kind of groups, like by their intention or interest, like people who like to travel, people who looking for community of these specific topics.
Yes, for example, there is a section with events, and then you can run an event, any type of event. So imagine you run an intentional community or intentional traveling event. If I see it on Satlantis and you run it in Buenos Aires, for example, to the example that you said before, if I see it, then I can join. As soon as I join this event, imagine it's a physical event, but I have to join, I have to register. So then you can let me in person. It's okay, Jordi, you're on the list, come on in. Once I click that I'm interested into that, the social graph starts learning about what do I like. So then if there are other events like that, I will be suggested this type of events. So the more you use the tool, the more the tool learns from you. So we are trying to build something that we cannot have the power since the beginning, which will make us, we believe, be more competent and be more competitive compared to the other tools out there. This is our point of view. We'll see if we are capable of succeeding. And that's why we picked this underlying protocol called Noster, which helps us. It's an open source protocol. It's helping us. It's grounding us. It's telling us, you're starting to get some power. Get down.
Does it mean that you will be, or through the Noster, we can connect with, say, podcast or with other companies who are working on Noster as well? So we can easily build this ecosphere of our interest or platforms that we are using, like for business, maybe for entertainment.
There is an ecosystem of different apps. You can think of, remember when you sign in into a new website, sometimes they tell you, would you like to log in with using Google, your Google sign-in? It was a good idea. Now every website has this Google sign-in, or almost every website. The problem is that's closed source, and that's information of Google. As I'm saying before, Google, because it's so big, hackers would like to get all this information about us, and that's why from time to time you get like some information like data leak here, data leak there. But when you open the source code, anybody that has a computer can see the vulnerabilities, and as soon as they find it, either they hack it and then the audience discovers it and then they patch it, or they willingly help it. So yes, using this Noster single sign-in, you can not only play with Satlantis to discover your next destination, you can play with Twitter clones. There are Twitter clones over there. There is a Spotify clone, which is called Fountain. I'm telling you all these names because I know them, because I used these tools.
I know about Fountain, but I'm still trying to reach people on Spotify. But eventually, like you envision, when this movement, I would say parallel decentralized movement, will be big enough to replace the known social media and other platforms?
Yeah, we need a crisis. We need something big.
It's already crisis, not enough?
Not an economic crisis. We need values, a crisis of values. Remember a couple of years ago with Cambridge Analytica, people?
But I think we're already in crisis of meaning, as many people speak about in different generation, not only like young and middle age. We're in crisis of values for some people who confused and some others. So you believe it's not enough?
No, it needs to be bigger. Now, the technology is at a level that is innovative, that there are a lot of issues. Instagram is 20 years old. Instagram works perfect, like a charm. You open the app, boom, reels, photos, immediate. Spotify, play, that's it, it works. Nostr is 4 years old, and it's open source. It's just 4 years, it's a baby compared to Instagram or Spotify that are more than 20 years old. So we need that people start having issues with their Facebook accounts. We need more people to get banned on social media so they realize that, wait, this is not free. Because people think that social media is free, but the term free has different meanings, and it's free as in free of charge, but not as in freedom of speech. So people say,
Because you, by your own, you became data. We became data. It's our payment.
That's our payment. But people don't care. They say, who cares? I just post picture of sunsets. That's the typical answer. So the people, and that's why we created, and that's why when I'm going to when these travels and I talk to nomads, that's why I discovered that the frequent traveler community, the nomad community, is more open to play with this technology because they have suffered freedom outages. They have had their bank accounts seized because they are travelers, and sometimes they have a client in the US and another client in the Maldives, and then the banks feel like you are money laundering or whatever. So they are prone, or because they log in with their Facebook from different IPs in different places, Facebook blocks them, saying, oh no, we thought that your account was compromised. So it's like this is the type of crisis. It's like when you want to access to your files, and then it's, oh fuck, I cannot access to my files. Why not? Because they were never yours. When you create an account on Facebook or Instagram or anywhere, when you click accept terms and conditions, you are accepting that anything you post is property of Facebook, of Instagram, of whoever, and you have just access to view and to edit what you are uploading. But at the moment that you say, I accept the terms and condition, is when you say, all that I'm doing here is not mine anymore. It's the same, I said that before about the money in your bank is not money, it's not yours, it's not in the bank. The data in the social media platforms, it's not data, it's not yours, and it's not there. So this is the type of crisis I'm looking for. And that's why nomads are more open. The rest of the society, they'll need their crisis. And who knows what it will be. We don't know if it will be like internet outage, freedom of speech on the internet.
But you need internet, by the way. You need internet for Satlantis and Nostr to work as well.
Yeah, no. And if we start talking about that, we can build our own networks. It's amazing. There are private networks here in Spain of people that they just put their antennas connecting to. Whereas, as I said before, when you start looking about self-sovereignty, there is no end to it. So we have to, at one moment, we have to say, okay, I accept to use the internet.
Why government need more people to keep track on and inspect all these spots.
You know?
And I'm curious now, because I've seen you have a list of cities, places on the platform, and everyone knows about such hotspots like Barcelona or Bali. But are there any underrated cities, you would say, like small, maybe emerging places on Satlantis platform that you believe deserve a special attention or spotlight or people looking for it?
Yeah, so I'm talking with the team. We're working nonstop for delivering the best tool for our audience. And yeah, there are many people asking me, why is this city not here? When are you going to add this city? Remember your bad experience you had in Buenos Aires. You posted something and you didn't get the attention that you were expecting. So what we're trying to do is we are even going closer. We are removing cities. We want to make sure that the service that we're offering gives value to the people that is listening. So if we would add a lot of cities, then because we are so little people, look, we are like 2,000 people in Satlantis, 2,000 users, and we are tackling into this technology protocol, which is Nostr, with around 300,000 people all over the world. That's the number of inhabitants in one small city. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to go into the most dense cities for travelers, so then we can offer the best experience there. This is how Facebook started their adventure. They started on the campus of the founder, of Mark Zuckerberg. And he made sure that all his classmates had the best experience. And then once that happened, he was able to open it to other campuses, and not only on university campuses. And then once the service was really interesting and parents of the kids going to the campus started asking, it's then when they open it to make it bigger. So we haven't even launched. You were able to be one of the first users to play with the tool. So what you've seen is like a beta product. So we want to make sure that we offer like the best service, and only then we will add new cities. So in the next days, you'll start seeing changes on the app. You'll start seeing maybe other cities, but step by step. I encourage you to post more things that are different to what you have been posting, but not only post, but also interact with other people. So if you see events, only if they align with you. If there is an event that you don't care, don't even do anything.
But it's online event or local event or both types?
They are all local events. That's why we, in Satlantis, we organize the community by cities, because we want people to talk to each other. We want to make connections. We want to bring people together based on their interests.
Okay. So some people say that there are no perfect country or place to live these days. Do you agree? Or do you believe that certain places truly bring out the best in people? Do you know
Right.
such places other than this village in Costa Rica?
Yeah, I'm traveling for 20 years. I've been traveling. And every place I go, I try to think, will this be my final destination? And no, I haven't found my final destination yet. But what I can tell you is that from every place I go, I try to get the part of the culture that aligns with me. Maybe one day I or we or people doing that will be able to find a place that aligns with all their values. If not, we will keep being.
No, if not, so you need to create your community, shaped to the values you have, or you want to having all these experiences, practical and by communication. I believe you can create, or at least manifesto. I don't know. It's how provide what you're looking for and what you stay for.
I've been having this conversation for my last 5 years with people from these freedom cities backgrounds. And in the end, and there's a book that now I'm reading which is called Soft War, like software, but soft war, like a word that is soft. In the end, the city, the state, the organization with the biggest war complex wins. And I'm a pacifist, but even though I'm a pacifist, if we want to build this place, we will need an army. Because if you don't have an army, country next door will come with one knife only, and he will take over. And this is why I'm still thinking that I'm not sure if I want to build my own place, my own community, because this is what happens. You build your community, you create your rules, and then the neighboring community see that you're prosper, and they come and they take over. This is not even humankind. This is Darwin. This is evolution, the theory of evolution. So it's the species that can take over that wins. So this is what I'm debating now. And I recommend people, even pacifists like me, to read this book, Software, it makes you open your mind and seeing different points of view on how to become self-sovereign, create your own community, but be protected so nobody comes and take over.
I think that's why many people looking to Latin America, which with all the past experiences of authoritarian regimes, and who knows, maybe there will be, they in better states, looks like, than other part of the world, and they still accepting people, but people need to be rooted, like with all nice online communities and ideas. It's okay, it's topic for the different conversation, but you still see that, or what you can say, how you envision that Satlantis will empower and help people looking for matching intentional communities, or to choose a better place for them to thrive.
It's, imagine like this is a database of cities, but based on like-minded people. This is the value. This is the biggest value. You find the place not because of the landscape, of the city, of the sightseeing landmarks. No, you choose a place because a combination. Maybe it's quality of life, maybe it's the sightseeing spots, but also we need connection. So we are helping people to meet people in real life because they share the same interests.
Okay, and Satlantis has ratings for different cities, such livability scores. And what core ingredients you would define for cities to nurture this community spirit, as you mentioned, different factors, and actually how you get these scores?
Yes, so these scores are, sometimes we buy them. There are like databases, global databases that tell you the index of how many robberies there are, or how safe the city is, if the tap water is drinkable. So all this information is out there by the local organizations that are doing all these tests. So what we're trying to do is we are sourcing them all, and we created like an index that can be compared between each other, because the problem is that every region, every location has its own way of measuring. So we created our own. And not only that, but we also ask people on the ground, people in the cities. So in the end, now it's only the ambassadors. We have a group of ambassadors. Every person that we validate, that we know that they live in that place, we send them a formula, and they fulfill it. In the future, anybody will be able, that lives there, will be able to add their own points of view. So in the end, it will be a crowdsourced database of information about the city. And what type of information are we offering? Is the information that you need when you are picking your next destination. Am I traveling alone? Am I traveling with my family? Is this city, for example, friendly with the education of my children? Am I free to choose what type of education my children have? For example, there is like this movement of people that wants to educate their children at home, but there are countries homeschooling.
Not available in Spain. I know people moving to Portugal.
Exactly. So if this is important to you, through Satlantis, information about homeschooling, you will see that, okay, maybe Spain is not for me. So depending on what are you looking, we have this scoring, like it's more green or more red, then you can choose. Other things might be business. Most of the travelers are self-employed, entrepreneurs, or they own like small businesses. So if they relocate to another place, they want to know, is setting up shop easy there? If not, I'm not willing to go there. Or will it be, if I have a digital business, do I have internet? Those things seem obvious, but there are still cities in the world that they do not have the requirements that you're looking for. And the difficulty is that because there are so many countries, cities, and locations, it's a mess when you have to pick your next destination. And what do? You go to the obvious places, and maybe you're not happy. And then after a couple of months being there, or a year, or whatever, you talk to other people, and then you discover that was not your final destination. Then you have to relocate again. So what we're trying to do is to save you all this hassle of losing 1 year of your life, going places, discovering. Maybe it brings gratification to you because you're growing, you're learning a new culture or whatever, but maybe this is not what you're looking for. So
But even in one city, like my experience, I know from Mexico, and again, in each city, like in some new subdivision, it might be good internet, and the next area, there is some problem with water. Like
100%.
So you collect all this information, like
From
with specifics?
we have information by cities, and there are locations that cities too big, and then we call it locations. So even a city can have like different areas. And we collect, again, as I say, we buy this information, we source it from different databases, and we ask local people to help us fill it in. So in the end, it's a social network. It's based on information from the people, not, and I don't want you to trust me because I might be wrong. But if 4 people is telling you that internet is good, you must trust it more than if just one person tells it.
Yeah, and here you like non-bio because
Correct.
non-bio based on people real life experience. And again, I don't know these people, but I trust in their experiences. Yeah.
And that's why we want every participant in Satlantis to be able to participate in that. Because if you see that you can participate, you trust in others. You trust information because you see, okay, if I can do
People
that,
need incentives, you know how it works. Sometimes even to share information. Because
definitely.
it's time and then it's look,
And
even
let me tell you one idea we have, one of these next features that we're building. We want to offer the people to share their own experiences in a city. For example, if you're in Mexico and you know the best restaurants, the best spots, the best tax advisor, anything that you learn, you gather by being there, this is worth a lot for you. Maybe it took you 1 year to build this. I'm a new traveler. I'm considering going to Mexico. If you would offer me this list, can I pay for it? So we're thinking on building things like that. You put your effort, you upload it, but not for free. You upload it there. And because I see that you are an active user of Mexico, that you have a lot of reputation in the platform, can I buy your list? This is one of the incentives that we want to build. And I will happily pay for all the knowledge that you acquired in 1 year.
no, but you cannot purchase all my knowledge. You can
No,
purchase
I
only
can
names.
purchase the list.
And sometimes names, this black books or list, it's a business. Like for some
It's a,
people, it's actually
yeah,
business.
for tour guides, for example, a tour guide will not give you for free the best route that he has created on his city, because it took him forever. But if he can sell, instead of selling it to a group of 5 people a day, if he can sell it to 500 people a day, we want to create like a circular economy here from the people. And this is why we are organizing everything on cities. If you have knowledge in your city, I want to be able to tap into this information, into this knowledge.
But sometimes, sorry, it's not only about city. Like I'm working for certain demographic group, like
Yes.
professionals 50 plus, and I'm looking to the condition and cities and countries from my perspective and perspective of people who are looking for relocation in this particular age group with priorities and interest or and budget of these people. So here, I see a lot of opportunities for growth by particular topic, I would say, or business direction.
There are many ideas, many opportunities. I like what you're saying now. I'll take note, and we are building ourselves with the insights of our users. We are tracking as much information as we can. I'm meeting as many people as I can. And the more a feature is asked, the easier it will be for me to build it. So yeah, thank you for sharing new ideas.
Can share after then some other ideas. But now, question to you. If you had to search for the community for yourself, what values or principles would you prioritize? Do
Oh,
you believe that thing is more of practical decision like finances, you mentioned some climate, work opportunities, or it's soul driven one, gut feeling, your dreams, your life philosophy, your world outlook? What guides you the most?
for me, you're asking me, Jordi. To me, it's easy. I have 3 things I love now in my life. One is sports. So I practice artistic gymnastics. So for me, I need to go to a place where they have like pommel horse, parallel bars, high bar, like the Olympic gymnastics gym. All right. So this is for me easy. The second one linked a little bit to what you were saying, like mentality, or I don't know exactly the words that you use, but philosophy. So the second one is Bitcoin, because Bitcoin to me answers all of this. It aligns with my values, this low time preference, thinking long term, building, being prepared, having parallel structures. This is for sure. And then the other, of course, I'm from Barcelona. I need my sun, I need my beach. So those would be like quality of life. So those are my three. And for me, it's easy because it's my day to day, and this is what I do every day. And now once I'm finishing and talking with you in this interview, look, I'm already with my gym's clothes. I'm going now to my gymnastics gym. So those three are the things that come from inside that define me at this moment.
It's easier to satisfy you now, I think, in regards to community, but it's up to you. Obviously, there are some more things that many people dream of relocating, but fear breaking the current routine, or uncertainty about the future, it's what stops them.
Yes,
If you ever face a moment like this in your life, how did you overcome it?
I faced that when I was 22 and I had to leave Spain for Austria, as I said at the beginning, for this country I've never been to, that speak this language I never heard of, to do this job that it was my dream job. It was my first job, which was an airline pilot. So for me, what helped me overcome that fear was that I was fulfilling one of the dreams I had in that time, which was being able to work as an airline pilot. This worked for me. I don't know whoever is listening us, if the passion for what they're doing will overcome their fear or not. Everybody needs to find out.
And desire and curiosity for some.
Maybe.
So what would you advise people who are considering life abroad, relocation abroad, seeking a matching community or living space, but cannot select the best possible destination or are intimidated by the immigration process or moving? What would be your piece of advice?
So never go to a place because you are in love with architecture, landscape, because of the touristic things. Because one thing is go to a place as a tourist, and another thing is to live there. I'll tell you that based on my experience, my recent experience in South Korea. It's amazing, super technological, most advanced. I love that people is so respectful, but I'm Latin, I'm Spanish, and I need some human connection. And I couldn't find that there. So I would recommend, if somebody is willing to go or to relocate to one place and they're a little bit scared, find out first their community there. And it's so easy. And you don't have to use Satlantis for that. You can use Facebook groups, you can use WhatsApp groups. There are many tools to find your community. You can use Meetups, Eventbrite. There are many tools. Of course, we are trying to put everything together. But if you find first that what you will find there will fulfill you, again, in my example, I just need an artistic gymnastic gym. I need my Bitcoin community, and I need my quality of life. For example, being able to go to the beach. If I know in advance that the place I'm going to offers me this, the relocation will be easier. Don't go to the place because people says this is hot now, this is popular now.
Know yourself. It's what you're saying, actually. It's not so simple, by the way.
Not easy at all.
Age. Know yourself and what are your priority. And by the way, in different age and stage of life, they might change. Because when you speak about Barcelona, when you're told, like, what do I need living? And I thought, okay, you're already living in Barcelona. Like, for me, Barcelona, it's associated with art, with beauty, with architecture, with...
And if you love that would be the reason for coming here.
No, but it's, for me, a reason to check Buenos Aires, because freedom is very important for me as well. I'm taking all in consideration.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that. Yes, Buenos Aires it's a good match as well for me as well. I just came back now from this nomad retreat, and I had this workshop that I conducted about how to find your next destination. And I said exactly what you said before. You have to first know yourself. I have this framework on how to know yourself. I think I will upload it to my YouTube channel. So if I'm doing it, I'll share it with you, because it's like a 3-step process on how people can find their community. Again, it's just an explanation of what you just said. So I think we are very well aligned here. And if people in the audience is interested, I'll share it with you.
Thank you very much, Jordi. It was my pleasure to speaking with you, and I hope we will repeat it. And as you are moving and reinventing yourself, and you're working in such technological and people-oriented environment, you will have a lot of stories to share. And I wish you success in all what you're doing in your personal journey, in your professional discoveries. And I will listen to you next week on a Free City Foundation event.
Thank you very much, Emily. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. I know that we are very aligned with our mindset, our points of view. So it's been a pleasure getting to know you, getting to be your guest here. Thanks again for inviting me. And thank you to all the audience that is listening, and keep listening to Emily, because everything she says is very important, of vital importance. So thank you again.
Thank you for appreciation. What an inspiring conversation with Jordi Llonch Esteve. His practical advice and people-centered approach make it clear. Relocation is not just about finding a new place. It's about reinventing your way of life. It's about choosing environments, people, supporting your dreams and personal values. Suppose you resonate with Jordi's ideas of liberty, intentional communities, technology, or expat lifestyle. In that case, I encourage you to reflect today. What is holding you back from stepping into a life of purpose? Remember, reinvention is possible for anyone at any age. Jordi's insights remind us that you can build a life rooted in freedom, meaning, and connection with the right mindset and resources. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today. If this episode sparked something in your heart, share it with a friend who may need inspiration, or drop us a note at Age of Reinvention channel on Spotify or YouTube comments. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to podcast, leave a review, and let us know what topics you want to explore next. Let's keep the conversation going. You can find more resources and tips for relocation at Satlantis platform, www.satlantis.io. And until our next episode, remember, the power of reinvention is already within you. Take one small step today toward the future you want, and stay inspired along the way. See you soon.